Right now, your phone is sitting somewhere near you, maybe in your pocket, maybe face down on the table beside you. And in the next few minutes, without even deciding to, you are going to pick it up, not because it buzzed, not because you're expecting a message. You're going to check it for no reason at all. That feels like a small, harmless habit, something you barely notice yourself doing. But the real reason you do this is far stranger than boredom. Your brain is running a program older than smartphones, older than language itself, and it has almost nothing to do with what's actually on the screen. Here's what you probably think is happening. You think you're checking your phone because you're curious. Maybe someone texted. Maybe something happened online worth seeing. That's the story your mind quietly tells itself in the moment. But notice something. Most of the time, there's nothing new waiting for you. No notification, no message, and yet you check anyway. So why would your brain send you on a mission to find nothing? Here's the strange part. Your brain isn't actually searching for information. It's searching for a feeling. And that feeling has a name in neuroscience: reward prediction error. In the 1990s, a neuroscientist named Wolfram Schultz ran an experiment with monkeys and a simple light. Every time the light turned on, the monkey received a small squirt of juice a few seconds later. Schultz expected the dopamine neurons to fire when the juice finally arrived. That's the reward after all. But that's not what happened. The dopamine spiked when the light turned on, before the juice ever came. The brain wasn't celebrating the reward itself. It was celebrating the possibility of one. Decode that for a second, because it matters. Dopamine, the chemical most people think is about pleasure, is actually about prediction. It fires hardest in the gap between not knowing and finding out, not at the answer, at the question. Now think about your phone. Every single time you pick it up, you don't know what's waiting there. Could be nothing. Could be something good. Your brain doesn't sit down and calculate the odds. It simply lights up at the uncertainty itself, again and again, dozens of times a day, every single day. But here's where it gets even stranger. If your phone gave you something good every single time you checked it, this whole effect would actually fade fast. Predictable rewards lose their pull quickly. So what's keeping you hooked isn't good news. It's not knowing whether you'll get any. Decades before Schultz ever studied a monkey, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner discovered something almost identical using pigeons. He built a box with a small lever. Press it, and sometimes a pigeon received food. Sometimes nothing happened at all. When the reward came every single time, the pigeons pressed the lever calmly when they were hungry and simply stopped when they weren't. But when the reward came randomly, on no fixed schedule whatsoever, something changed completely. The pigeons pressed the lever obsessively, constantly, even when they weren't hungry, even when nothing was coming. Skinner called this a variable ratio schedule, and it produced the most persistent, hardest to break behavior he ever recorded in a lab animal. Your phone runs on that exact same schedule. Sometimes there's a message, sometimes a like, a comment, a notification worth seeing. Sometimes there's nothing at all. You never know which one you're about to get, so your brain, just like that pigeon, keeps pressing the lever. Think about how strange that really is. You are not weak-willed for reaching for your phone constantly throughout the day. You're running the same ancient circuitry that made a pigeon peck a lever until it forgot to eat. This isn't a character flaw you need to fix through willpower alone. It's a deeply old reward system, built over millions of years to help you find food and safety in an unpredictable world. Now aimed at a glowing rectangle engineered, quite deliberately, to exploit it. So why does it feel so empty right afterward? You check the phone, there's nothing there. Or there's something, and somehow it doesn't even matter. And almost instantly, a quiet disappointment sets in, one you can't fully explain. That's because the dopamine spike already happened before you even unlock the screen. The anticipation was the whole event. The actual content was almost beside the point all along. You were never really chasing the message. You were chasing the 3 seconds before you knew what it was. Here's the part most people never stop to consider. This means the urge to check your phone isn't really about your phone at all. It's about uncertainty itself. Your brain is drawn to unresolved questions the same way it's drawn to an itch on your skin. Have you ever noticed how one unanswered text can occupy more of your attention than 10 messages you've already read and closed? That's the same mechanism at work. Open loops pull on your mind far harder than closed ones ever do. And once you see this clearly, it becomes difficult to unsee it anywhere else. The slot machine in a casino runs on the same variable schedule Skinner found in his lab. The pull to refresh gesture on your social feed was modeled almost directly on a slot machine's lever. The autoplay countdown before your next video removes the one moment where you might have asked yourself if you actually wanted more. Each of these was built by people who understood Schultz's monkeys and Skinner's pigeons better than most psychologists ever will, and then engineered that understanding directly into a product sitting in your pocket right now. So the next time your hand drifts toward your phone with no clear reason at all, try pausing for 1 second before you unlock it. Ask yourself what you actually expect to find. Most of the time, you won't have an answer. And that's exactly the point. You weren't checking for information. You were checking for the feeling of not knowing yet. The same 3 seconds a monkey once felt staring at a light. The same 3 seconds a pigeon once felt pressing a lever in an empty box. This is also why deleting the app rarely fixes anything for long. The urge doesn't live in the app. It lives in the gap. Remove one source of uncertainty, and your brain simply finds another. The inbox, the group chat, the news. Anywhere an answer is missing, that same circuitry leans forward and waits. There's something almost comforting in knowing this, though. You're not broken. You're not uniquely distracted compared to everyone else scrolling beside you. You're a few million years of evolution running into a few decades of engineering, and the engineering, for now, is winning. But circuitry that responds to uncertainty can also be told the truth about itself. The moment you recognize the pull for what it actually is, prediction, not pleasure, it loses a little of its grip. Not all of it. Just enough to notice the gap before you fall into it. Right now, your phone is still sitting somewhere near you. And somewhere underneath all of it, a few thousand ancient neurons are already lighting up, not because of what's on the screen, but because of what might be.